So you
right?
consider them flavored coffees. So if there's
Exactly.
a producer who is instead of using like a mixture of sugars, they're using pineapple to process their coffee in the fermentation process. For you, that's a flavored coffee.
Yeah, they're trying to alter the flavor
Right.
with the added flavors. Yeah, it's definitely, the new flavored coffees. You don't need, I mean, are you really going to spend the effort to produce the best possible green coffee that way?
This episode is proudly brought to you by Mapper Forward's workshop. It's time to become a coffee consultant. Learn how to diversify your revenue streams and create freedom from your day job while saying goodbye to that alarm clock forever by becoming a consultant within the coffee industry or directly to consumers who have shifted towards home brewing and home roasting. Protect your income from challenging times in the coffee value chain by taking this course today. Go to mapperforward.coffee/workshops or click the link in the show notes for details. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and this is episode 4 of a fantastic 5-part series with George Howell from George Howell Coffee. George, we're talking about price in this episode when it comes to the coffee crisis. I was going to say coffee price crisis, but that was about 20 years ago, and then 10 years ago, and then 5 years ago, and now we're at an overall crisis across the entire supply chain. And I want to talk about, where does the value and the price of coffee go from here, given that where we seem to be at the evolution of our industry is that we've now reached the point where it's an expensive hobby. Right? There's market saturation everywhere. There is so much dysfunctional behavior going on with regards to a race to the bottom. People are trying to find their lanes, and coffee producers don't know which way to look. Everybody seems to be panicking or confused. Where does the value go from here? Like the price?
Very hard to know. I mean, I can't even predict where it's going because, uh, you know, the changes to specialty have happened as they have in our entire world from politics on down
Right.
into the internet and 50 messages coming in, all contradicting each other
Yep.
from multiple sources. And that's going on in the coffee industry too.
Yep.
So everybody's we're all pointing in different directions at sometimes. And there's not one voice, not two, not three, but dozens and dozens. So it's very hard to predict because there are multiple developments happening simultaneously.
Mm.
Um, some of which are gaining traction, others that aren't but might, etc. I mean, so there's mixology, right? There's all these
Oh,
drinks
yeah.
that are happening, which are necessary. We have to keep up to that because
Yep.
um, Frank over here or Susan over there may be in love with black coffee and high quality, but their date may just want an amazing, super fluffy, wow coffee drink which has coffee in it.
Unicorn and rainbow
Yeah,
stuff.
so I want to satisfy date.
You want them to choose George Howell to come to the date.
Yeah. So, and hopefully Frank and Susan will convince their partners at some point that
Right.
checking out, right? So it's a mixed bag, and we in the business of cafes, and that's what I'm really zeroed in on,
Mm-hmm.
need to be aware of all of that and to be able to somehow cater to its better aspects, right?
Yes. Yes.
It's a little bit, God, what's the name of what's the drink with wine and fruit and so on from Spain?
Oh, sangria.
Sangria, right. Okay. So I
Mm-hmm.
can serve sangria, but I'm not going to use top of the line Bordeaux to do it.
No. Right. Right.
It's a great drink from time to time.
And people love coming in and buying it by the jug.
Exactly.
They'll buy a pitcher full for
Right.
the Americans
So
in the room.
sangria's in. But it also doesn't mean that I shouldn't have a great Bordeaux for those people who are willing to
Right.
pay for it, right? Etc. You need to.
Cater.
I want. Yeah, I'm looking to cover the spread, right?
Right.
From people who are definitely interested in the quality of what they're drinking, but
Right.
that can be a made up drink, all the way to a single black coffee that costs a lot of money. And
Can
sky's the limit, right?
can a cafe exist without the alternative? Well, let me say this a different way, because I was going to say, can a cafe exist without the alternative drinks? The alternative drinks being like the rainbow unicorn, whatever, the ice drinks. But now it seems like what we're trying to serve is the alternative. And the unicorn stuff and the Spanish lattes and the, all of these signature drinks, they're the drinks that are bringing people to the cafes.
Yeah, it's up to us. It's up to me, certainly with my cafes, to keep, again, watching what's good, and tasting these things and
Right.
thinking, okay, we're going to do this. Introducing other type of beverages. I definitely want to do the sipping chocolates and do it
Right.
right as an additional thing. But keeping the eyes on, and also talking about consistently and offering coffees of the highest quality and that experience, right?
Right.
In our cafe, in our main one at the hotel in downtown Boston, that spot where we selling the beans retail and we have a tall table we can do tastings at all times.
Mm-hmm.
That's got the sign up above called the Exploratorium, right?
I love that.
That's what it is, right? So I want to keep developing that and keep black coffee always, you know, uh, pointing attention to it for those who have any curiosity. You're always looking for picking up people who have curiosity.
I have a challenging question for you then.
Yeah.
So prepare yourself, George Howell. We're going to talk about infused coffees or co-fermented coffees. For those not watching, for those listening, there was an eye roll absolutely that happened there. Because when we talk about those kinds of experiences that we want to have at an exploratorium, we notice that in the market.
Yeah.
So, say again?
I won't do it.
So tell us why. So co-fermented coffees, right? So clearly this is something you and I have talked about this.
Fermented in certain ways. I don't want to have the pineapple and the strawberries being thrown into chains. That's type of infusion I'm not dealing.
But that's what consumers are buying, right?
Yeah, well, we're back to flavored coffees of the 1980s. That was Gloria Jean's, right?
That was Gloria Jean's. That was
Australia, by the way.
I'm aware. I was well into my career by that time.
She's back in Chicago.
Wow.
Right, that's what I was reading. So Gloria Jean's coming in, right? So, but in any case, I remember this represented the constant number that was bandied about there was 30% of a cafe sale were flavored coffees.
Mm. So you consider them flavored coffees. So if there's a producer who is instead of using like a mixture of sugars, they're using pineapple to process their coffee in the fermentation process. For you, that's a flavored coffee.
Yeah, they're trying to alter the flavor,
right, with
the added flavors. Yeah, it's definitely the new flavored coffees. You don't need. I mean, are you really going to spend the effort to produce the best possible green coffee that way? I mean, I don't think so.
So, and this is where I, in a couple of series ago, I was talking about, actually it was in the series with Nolan where I was talking about how I have complex feelings around these coffees. Why? Is because we can't be racist against these coffees while we're also selling frozen rainbow unicorn drinks and not discriminating against those, right? Like these drinks that have lots of sugar and they have lots of your whipped cream and whatever it is, those drinks seem to be the ones that are leading our revenues in cafes. And
Those
somehow
drinks,
they do, right?
oh yeah, but the flavor, the strawberry flavored or pineapple flavored coffee is coming out of the origin. That's being pushed more for retail, I think. I mean, what are you going to do with the drink? You're going to serve it black?
Yeah, so just to fill you in, no, but they are like here where I'm at, where the average latte is about $9 Australian, which is somewhere around. So you're looking at.
No, I get that, but why? I can flavor it there with pineapple right there at the cafe in my mixed drink.
But
I
you
don't
don't.
need I don't
Right.
need to onto the farmer and the farm.
And I hear you. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Right.
I have a lot of complex thoughts and feelings around these coffees. Why? Because the producers that are creating them are finding that they're their best-selling coffees. And
For now,
for
it won't be.
you, so that's your perspective. You feel that they won't last.
Yeah, flavored coffees didn't. Where's Gloria Jean's now in the States?
Okay. And my complexity with regards to the feeling around these coffees is that this seems to make a consumer feel a little bougie because they're drinking a black coffee that has like hints of strawberry or hints of passion fruit or hints of mint or whatever.
But there are varieties that do that.
I agree with you, right? But this makes it more accessible for the consumer. So they're drinking a black coffee. They feel fancier because they no longer have to get the excessive calories from milk, right? They don't have to drink these extra flavored coffees. And this keeps them one step away from having to take Ozempic. So they have these black coffees that have those sweet flavors in them that are like strawberry and like passion fruit. And they are selling like hotcakes.
And people are drinking them black or with other
black they're drinking them black.
Well, in the States, again, I think maybe 15 to 20% of our consumers at the most are black coffee drinkers.
Oh wow. Okay. This is the gateway to black coffee in this region. So there is a lot of black coffee that is consumed with these co-fermented coffees. And right. that is the way that specialty coffee shops are bringing people into black coffee. So it's the gateway.
Yeah. I myself find that coffee itself has such variation and such, and I really fear this. This sounds like it connects to the theme that I have with efficiencies that eliminate redundancies that are so important. Everything, airplanes, right, to producing great cars.
Yeah.
Last, to producing a high quality coffee requires redundancies that get eliminated. And one of the ways to do that is to have a coffee I don't have to worry so much about the quality, add the flavoring and such, and now I go down that road. In the long run, I think that's a loser. And it's certainly not the direction that excites me, in the sense that, I'm into what the extraordinary things that nature can produce.
Yeah.
That the farmer midwifes into being. Right.
So poetic. That's the story that we're selling, right? In specialty coffee, that's the story we have decided we're going to be selling.
Oh, it's like the wine world over hundreds, if not thousands of years, has developed a model that I really appreciate, right? The other things of flavored wines and so on come and go, but the great wines still stand, right? And, other places are joining them as people open up to it. At least that's what I like to think.
Do you think that quality and authenticity is going to be given this weird time that we're in the world, like Nolan said, this crisis isn't just in coffee, it's in everything. Do you think that people are going to look for authenticity in their daily routines? Do you think that
I think a lot of people look for it. Oh, and the other thing I did want to mention is that alongside what you're talking about, like again, when we were in Guatemala and we were visiting a wet mill for small, tiny farmers all bringing in their coffees there, it became clear there and at other single farms and elsewhere that there is a lot of development in terms of fermenting coffee that to me is very legitimate.
Yes.
How can you bring out the flavors that's inherent in the coffee more so? So you're fermenting the cherries, or you're leaving them in cherry after being picked for 24 hours or whatever, and then you're depulping them and washing them, and you are fermenting longer periods of time as well in
Right.
order to develop them more. These are exciting things, right? And are going through with a real respect for what's in there, trying to bring it out more, as opposed to adding a little bit of salt, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, the
Ketchup.
product, and cook
Right.
all the possible meanings that has, right?
Right.
As something that, so that's a manufactured piece more and more.
Right. I hope that the consumer, I don't know where this is going with regards to the, how we're valuing coffee, whether it be the varietal or the flavor or the commodity. I don't know where it's going. I do know that there is going to have to be a point of harmony that we find through all the stakeholders if this industry is going to see its next iteration. Because I'm not sure what that next iteration looks like. And that is the perfect place for us to lead into the final episode of this series, folks. We're going to talk about the greatest challenges of the next couple of years for cafes and roasteries. And there is nobody better to have this conversation with than with George Howell. So join us for the final episode, folks. Peace off on peanut butter. Have an amazing rest of your day. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, friends. Please don't forget to show us some love by subscribing, liking, commenting, and most of all, sharing this podcast with your friends. Check the show notes for links, including our sponsors and our Patreon. And stay tuned for more great conversations on the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward.